Welcome to Talk with Audrey. In addition to my profiles each week, I also feature interviews from the health, fitness, travel, financial, and entertainment industries. I also like to devote time to, well, talking with interesting people from all walks of life. And today's show is all about a health issue, diabetes. And my guests are two women who are trying to make a difference, one nationally and the other locally, to encourage us all to take better care of ourselves.
Hi, Audrey. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Audrey.
Hi, how are you?
Morning, Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
Hi.
Thank you, Audrey.
Good morning, Audrey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey.
Talk with Audrey.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Hanging those mirrors.
I love it.
Joining me via satellite is author, motivational speaker, entertainer, correspondent for CNBC's D-Life TV, and a research ambassador for the American Diabetes Association, Mother Love. Welcome, Mother Love, to Talk with Audrey.
Thank you, Audrey. It's wonderful to be here with you.
The last time you were on the show, we spoke about your personal struggle with diabetes and the lifestyle changes that you had to make in order to maintain your health. Why is it, Mother Love, that people just don't seem to be getting the message?
You know, they're getting it. What we have to get them to do is start to take action with it. There was a survey that came out not too long ago that said 6 in 10 Americans understand the ramifications of diabetes, and only a third of them are doing anything about it. And we've got to get that number up because it's affecting people, especially African Americans, at a disproportionately high number. And we have got to take a proactive approach. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today.
Well, according to the CDC, there are more than 5 million Americans who are undiagnosed and about 24 million Americans who are living with diabetes.
Yes. And we have 58 million who are pre-diabetic. So we've got a large number of people that we have to reach, and it's important that they get the 5 steps that I have that can help them have a much more balanced life and live a better life and live a healthier life. And I want to give you those 5 tips. The first one is build a team around you. Get a team of positive people, your family, your friends, your physicians. Make sure that they're listening to you and they're working with you. Get a balanced diet. Understand what a normal sized portion of food is. Do you know if people lost at least 5% of their body weight, they would help improve their A1C? And we can do this, 5%. Just 5%, not 100 pounds like me, 5%. And we have to learn to take care of ourselves, and we have to take action. I travel all around, and I have to have, it's really hard sometimes to get that balance into my life. So I find balance with the Glucerna shakes and with the cereal bars, and even with their cereal. And it really does help. And I do it under medical supervision, and it's scientifically designed for people with diabetes. So it really can help us. And another thing is, we stress out so much, we don't know how to relax anymore. I said, get you a soft blanket, get you a candle, burn that candle, read my book, take time for yourself. And my 5th tip is get informed. Get as much information as you possibly can. Diabetes.org, the ADA's website, they're chock full of information. Glucerna.com has fabulous recipes on there. We have to get back into the kitchen, start taking better care of ourselves, and learn to let's get better together with balance in our lives.
Well, Mother Love, you were diagnosed with diabetes and lost 100 pounds. How do you manage to maintain your weight and the issue of diabetes in your life?
It was important to make sure I had positive people around me, my husband and my son, and some of my family members, not all of them, because I lost half of my family members to the ravages of diabetes at very early ages. And so it became important to surround myself with positive people, the people who, because there are always going to be naysayers, but I wanted to make sure that I surrounded myself with positive, forward-thinking people who wanted to get out and walk with me or wanted to go swimming with me, to make sure that they didn't get the disease, and if they weren't pre-diabetic, that they could stave off the complications of diabetes, because once the complications start, it's almost like a domino effect. So we've got to take a proactive approach. There are just too many people who are dealing with this disease and too many more people who are at risk for developing it.
And why do you think diabetes has become such a major health issue in the U.S.?
I think a lot of it has to do with the additives and the preservatives that are in the food supply. I think a lot of it has come because people have gotten so lackadaisical. I think people are in denial about it. They don't want to say they have diabetes. In my community, they won't even call it diabetes. They call it a little sugar. And I haven't seen a little sugar take out anybody's eyesight or cause them to lose a lower limb or anything like that. So we have to take a proactive approach because it has gotten completely out of control. We're sedentary. We want to sit up at the computer, sit up on these video games. We don't want to get up and walk around the neighborhood. We don't want to walk anywhere. We want instant gratification. Very few people cook anymore. They don't even know how to cook. They don't even know how to shop anymore. When I was growing up, you got fresh fruits and vegetables all the time. You have fresh fruits and vegetables every single day, and everybody wants all this instant gratification. And we have got to stop this and stop being so very lazy about it.
Well, so why the pushback? I mean, we continue to use the same old cooking methods.
And that's something that I had to learn how to do. I had to learn to shop. I had to learn to become an avid label reader. My thing is, if I can't pronounce it on the label, I'm not eating it. If I can't pronounce it, it's not going into this body. And I had to learn to shop, cook, all of this all over again, and it has to become a lifestyle. Just like that sedentary lifestyle, we have to get up. Einstein said, you know, what's insane is thinking you can do the same thing over and over again and get a different outcome. And we have to stop being crazy in our communities and get up and take a proactive approach. And there are so many things on the market that can really help us with this, and people just need to be informed. You know, start learning to shop on the peripheral and see what's green and purple and red and yellow and blue. Yeah, they do have blue food that's good for you. I discovered purple sweet potatoes that are high in antioxidants. And after you boil the potatoes, you can drink the water. So we just got to get the information out there. So for people like you and your Adams Report, we just thank you so much for making sure that the information gets out there to the people who need it the most.
Mother Love, what don't people know about diabetes?
I don't think they really know just how serious and insidious this disease is. I don't think they really understand the complications and that they can stave off the complications. I think people think, well, once they get diabetes, well, I just got diabetes, I'll go on insulin, I'll take the pill, and you know, I can just eat whatever I want. I don't have to take a proactive approach. And that's really the wrong attitude. You have to you only get this one body. You get to go through life one time. It's about the quality of your life. Do you want to sit up on dialysis 3 days a week? Do you want to go blind? Do you want to have a lower limb amputated? Do you want to have a stroke? Do you want to have a heart attack? Do you want to die early from the complications of diabetes? And I think the answer to all of that would be a resounding no. So if you don't want that to happen, take a proactive, positive approach to this disease.
Coming up on Talk with Audrey.
Diabetes is rampant in my family. My mother is diagnosed with diabetes. My brothers have been diagnosed. I'm not just here selling, I'm also here telling the community about what is going to keep you healthy.
I'd like to invite you to follow Talk with Audrey on Twitter and on Facebook. Simply visit talkwithaudrey.com, where you can also sign up for my free weekly newsletter for access to exclusive web content and information about upcoming shows. Welcome back to Talk with Audrey. I'm Audrey Adams. Joining me via satellite, author, motivational speaker, diabetic, and correspondent for D-Life TV, Mother Love. Do you have some tips for those folks who have diabetes but like to dine out as well?
Don't put the croutons on it. Don't overlay your salad with a bunch of heavy-laden salad dressing. Get it on the side. Get your meal grilled or blackened or sauteed in olive oil. Don't eat so much pasta. One of the things that I do when I go out to eat, and I eat out a lot, is I ask for a box, a to-go container right off the bat when my plate comes. I take half the food off my plate, or I eat it, and then whatever it is, I'm only gonna eat half of it, and I take the other half with me. My husband loves that I'm a very inexpensive date because I can eat twice off of that meal. I don't eat and drink at the same time, because when you're eating and you're drinking, you're messing up your digestive system. So eat your meal and then drink whatever it is that you're going to drink. And take your time and eat. Slow down and eat your meal and enjoy the company that you're with when you're out dining.
Why is it important then to monitor your blood sugar?
It's very important. It is critical. You need to know your numbers. You need to know what your A1C number is. You need to know what your blood pressure is. You need to know what your real weight is. I know you don't want to get on the scale and find out you really weigh 285 pounds when you think you weigh 200 pounds. You need to know what your blood pressure is. You need to know, and it's important to take your blood sugar in the mornings, as often as you can, when you can take it. Take it in the morning. I take mine when I get up and see what my fasting blood sugar is. I take it an hour after I eat, 2 hours after I eat, and I take my blood sugar right before I go to bed because I don't want to be too high or too low. Because if you get too low, or too high, you could easily slip into a coma in your sleep, and you don't want to do that. So you take a proactive approach throughout the day. And another thing, don't eat late in the day. Don't eat, I would say don't eat after 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock for some people.
And Mother Love, what one piece of advice would you give to people watching?
I would say to your viewers, believe in your heart and your soul and your spirit that you can take command and control of this disease, that you are willing to go out there and get as much information and get as informed as possible. And if you're going to have diabetes, make it look good.
And do I understand, Mother Love, that there's no such thing as a little sugar?
No. No. This is a little sugar.
Thank you so much for joining me, Mother Love, on Talk with Audrey.
You're welcome.
Now, for more information about creating a successful diabetes management plan and finding balance for a healthier life, first consult with your healthcare provider or doctor and follow their advice. But for information about Mother Love, visit dlife.com. And for the products she mentioned, visit glucerna.com. We all have opportunities to make a difference in our communities. Instead of just living there, there are people who really like to take responsibility once they recognize a need to help improve the quality of life and make a difference. Well, Sonya Simmons has done just that. 5 years ago, she created the Grassroots Farmers Market in her neighborhood in Harlem, New York.
I started this market because we had a high level of juvenile diabetes in this area, as well as high blood pressure with our seniors, and I wanted to bring fresh produce and organic vegetables to our community, which is Harlem, New York. I pick up from one of the farmers in Montgomery, New York, and I have about 4 other farmers that come here at 148 in front of Jackie Robinson Park. We take EBT, which is a food stamp program. We also take the farmers market coupons, which is a incentive for people who get only these coupons that will help them to buy from the farmers only. They cannot use them in the stores. So we needed a place like this in our neighborhood that these people could come to and actually purchase fresh produce. And it's an incentive for them to learn about fresh cabbage and about fresh corn. It's harvest the day before and brought to you the next day, and not waiting 21 days when it gets to the store. A lot of children come up here and they get their fresh fruits for their snacks. It's healthier to get a fresh fruit than have chips and snacks that they can pick up because they're 25 cents. We keep the prices very reasonable here. I mean, for example, you can get fresh basil. You can have this for $2. In the store, you would get a little plastic pack for $4.99. So anyone who is, some people are intimidated with fresh, but fresh is so much better. Organic is so much better. I'm sort of a farm girl. I was born in Ohio. I lived as a vegetarian for 15 years, and I know what the healing process and the healing of fresh produce can do for the body. Several years back, I went to Italy and I noticed how the Italians would go to the market first thing in the morning, and they would get all this fresh produce, and they would pick up all of the food that they were going to, prepare that day. And I sat down at an Italian woman's table and we ate, and I noticed just how fresh everything was and how delicious the food was. And I noticed that they did that every every day. And so I wanted to have the same feel in my community. And I also noticed that a lot of Europeans that I met, they were so healthy, you know, at 90. And when I come back to my community, I see that the health issues, especially diabetes, and diabetes is rampant in my family. My mother is diagnosed with diabetes. My brothers have been diagnosed with diabetes. My father and my grandfather passed away from diabetes. And I have no traces of it. I have no diabetes, no high blood pressure, anything. And I'm a very healthy woman. And I couldn't understand, you know, even I'm not saying that I eat the best every day, but I didn't understand why I didn't get it. And most of it is because I don't eat a lot of meat, but I eat vegetables. Vegetables are my mainstay. I don't participate in a lot of sweets, candy, never. So I think that that helps, and I wanted to make sure that I could get that across to the community. I'm not just here selling, I'm also here telling the community about what is going to keep you healthy. And the most important thing is eating fresh vegetables. We give out flyers, we give out recipes, and everything to let them know what's going to keep you away from diabetes and away from high blood pressure and high cholesterol. People are passing away because they just did not know, you know, how to stay healthy. Start off with a plan. You have to write out and find a place. The location is very important. You have to identify local farmers within a 3-hour radius from where you live. You can search on the internet for them. It's best to go and visit their farm. There are organizations that will help you. The one that helped me the most was Just Foods, and you can look them up on the internet. They will help you to take your market manager courses and how to work with farmers and also volunteers. And I worked with them for the first 6 months before I even embarked on getting the grants that you need to start the market. If you've never ran a market before, there's some certain steps you need to take about dealing with the public, dealing with the farmers, some knowledge of vegetables, some knowledge of food care, you know, like not keeping them in the sun too long and things like that. And then, of course, you're going to need some finances to get your tables and tents, bags, a scale, and banners made. And you do need to do some marketing to let the community know where you are, because otherwise, if they don't know, they can't come to you. Have a plan and a location first. Then reach out to a lot of the organizations that will help you. And once you start selling, you'll see exactly what you need. Be amazed at how many people don't know what fresh beets look like. They don't know that this is what it looks like, how it comes out of the ground. They don't know what the herbs are like, what a rosemary looks like. They only get them cut and in a package. They have no chance to touch and to smell how fresh it is. I wish you could smell it. I'm smelling it. It's wonderful. Trust me. Come by the market. You'll see. You'll get to taste and try things every Tuesday, every Saturday from 8 in the morning until 4 o'clock.
I'd be willing to bet that Sonya Simmons' Grassroots Farmers Market has had an even greater impact on far greater numbers of people than even she realizes. And to think that it all started with a commitment of one person. And in your community, that could be you. I'd like to invite you to follow Talk with Audrey on Twitter and on Facebook. Simply visit talkwithaudrey.com, where you can also sign up for my free weekly newsletter for access to exclusive web content and information about upcoming shows.
Earlier on Talk with Audrey.
Mother love, what one piece of advice would you give to people watching?
I would say to your viewers, believe in your heart and your soul and your spirit that you can take command and control of this disease, that you are willing to go out there and get as much information and get as informed as possible. And if you're going to have diabetes, make it look good.
Do need to do some marketing to let the community know where you are, because otherwise, if they don't know, they can't come to you. Have a plan and a location first, then reach out to a lot of the organizations that will help you. And once you start selling, you'll see exactly what you need.
Welcome back to Talk with Audrey. I'm Audrey Adams. Don't risk possibly losing your life, eyesight, or limb to diabetes. It's important to become educated, understand, and be aware that your age, race, or lifestyle choices could put you at a higher risk for developing the condition. It all starts with you and self-love. Think about it. I'm Audrey Adams. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week right here on Talk with Audrey.